What's up, student ministry workers? Brock Odell, high school pastor here, coming at you. Today, we're going to be covering some important information that you need to know concerning Experience Weekend coming up this weekend, Friday, February 19th, and Saturday, February 20th. So here's the deal. We did our leader training last night because right now it is Wednesday. We did it last night on Tuesday, and I forgot to hit record for like the first 4 minutes of the meeting. So I'm going to cover that information right now, and then I'm going to shoot you over to the rest of the training that we did so that you can hear other people's questions. Hopefully that'll be helpful to you. Also attached in this email, you're going to find some important links that we did discuss that were coming through on the chat on the Zoom call. So you'll have it in the email when you watch this video. So thank you so much for signing up for Experience Weekend. It's gonna be an incredible weekend. We are really expected that God's gonna show up and do something incredible. And it's important to remember, Experience Weekend is a reach event, meaning that the goal of this event is to share the gospel and hopefully see students make first-time decisions to follow Jesus. That is the whole purpose. And so let's start off with the purpose, because that's the most important thing. Students can sign up all the way up until the event. So if you haven't been challenging your students to invite their one or a friend to this event, their friends can still register. So pause this video right now. Like, more important than the information that you are going to get in this video is the fact that you are actively discipling and challenging your students to take the next step in their faith. And for many of them, that is sharing the hope that they have, inviting somebody to come and be a part of the church that they're a part of. So if you haven't challenged your students, pause the video right now, go do that. Let's talk through when you actually show up at Experience Weekend on Friday night or Saturday morning. If you are coming on Friday for high school ministry, your call time is 6:30 p.m. That's right, 6:30 p.m. I don't know if that's backwards for you or not, because I don't understand how webcams work. But 6:30 p.m. for all people serving in high school on Friday night. And when you come here, you are going to park in parking lot E. And you might not know what parking lot E is. Parking lot E, also known as the COVID lot. So we will sanitize and everything. You're going to be safe, but go ahead, park in the COVID lot in parking lot E when you get here at 6:30 on Friday. If you are serving with middle school on Saturday, February 20th, your call time is 9:30 a.m. on Saturday morning. Again, if you're serving with middle school, it's going to be 9:30 a.m. on Saturday morning, and you also are going to park in parking lot E, the COVID lot. After you park in parking lot E, you are going to head inside, and you, are going to go straight to FH2. That is going to be the holding strip for all leaders and students. We're going to hang out, kind of the holding tank for everybody. We'll be playing some games, giving instructions, and that is where all students and leaders are going to check in. You'll get some really cool supplies that you're about to find out about here in a second, and we will prepare for students to show up at 7 o'clock. From that 7 to 7:30, students will be showing up, we'll be hanging out, and around 7:30, we're going to leave FH2 and head into the main sanctuary to join all Southeast campuses Experience Weekend. It's going to be an incredible program sharing the gospel, and this is about the point where I remembered that I needed to record the meeting. So I am going to kick you over to the meeting so that you can hear the rest of what we talked about for Experience Weekend. Johnny, take it away.
When we have just about everybody, they're going to open the doors to the auditorium at 7 p.m. on Friday and at 10 a.m. on Saturday. And so we're going to be waiting till we have a large group of students, most of our students there together, before we cross over the atrium and go to our seats, which will be on the third floor of the main auditorium block. So really what we need them to do is to come to FH2, create a warm and welcoming environment, a few of you for check-in, and making sure students are getting welcome. And then together, we're going to walk over as one group to FH, or to the third floor of the auditorium for Experience Program when doors open. We won't necessarily walk in right away, but soon after that, once we have all of our students, we'll do that. And that's the same thing for Friday night as it is for Saturday morning. Did I miss anything, Brock?
You nailed it so far. You're doing great. So next up, we want to talk you guys through when we actually get into the auditorium for the program. What is it that we're actually going to be experiencing? You've heard that word, Experience Weekend. What is it that we are going to be experiencing together? And Johnny actually sat on that program team. So Johnny, what can you tell us about what we're going to be experiencing as part of the services and the illusionist and all the crazy stuff happening.
Yeah, so you're gonna right now, and just telling you about it, I made a video for every campus to kind of see what our overview is, what our 2-hour program is gonna be about. Jared Hall, the illusionist, is gonna be right in the middle. It's gonna be phenomenal. We're doing this whole thing so that students can have conversations with their friends that don't know Jesus about his life-changing relationship for them. So take a look at this video. It'll last about 5 minutes, and it's gonna give you a sneak peek into the opening video that's going to kick off the conference both on Friday and Saturday. Check it out. What's up, leaders? Johnny Mack here, one of the speakers from Experience Weekend, coming up on the 19th and 20th of February. I cannot wait to hang out with all of you. And this video is to get you ready for this incredible experience, this conference that we put together to help students bring their friends that don't know Jesus and to help them know the gospel according to the cross. Listen, there are a few things you need to know. First of all, prior to the entire program starting, there are going to be 3 primary ways you can serve your campus while everybody's arriving. Make sure when this video is over to ask your campus leader about how you can plug into one of those 3 serving roles. And when the video starts, the event is going to begin. And so I want you to see a sneak peek of what everybody's going to see as soon as Experience Weekend kicks off. And so I'm going to count to 3, and you're going to get a sneak peek of what all of the students are going to see as we kick off this incredible conference. In 3, 2, 1, check it out.
787, 31 left Bravo, right Juliet, hold short of blue. Expect level 310, 10 minutes after departure.
Tom Air 787, we're Lima Alpha, protect.
Departure frequency will be 125.7, 427,668, Alpha. Right, after shift is Lima, India, November, Delta.
Okay, so me the Lima, India, November, that's on Bravo and Juliet, short of 2, 787, 25 steps next. Out of the movie, Bravo. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Engines ready. Beaver, India, Virginia. Liftoff. We have liftoff. Terminal 7. Terminal 7. Via Wind Alpha. Victor Alpha, Speed 5. Mayday. 775. We have Alpha, North America 974.
It's going to be explosive. And what you saw there is this astronaut is in trouble. Like, he's launching into space and then something happens and he needs to be rescued. And we want every student to see they are that astronaut. Their life is moving and then something's happened and they need help. And so Experience Weekend is all about the gospel message. And it's going to be in 2 parts. The first half is going to be about one statement. I have a problem that I cannot fix. Much like that astronaut was in the middle of chaos and something was going wrong, that's where a lot of our students are at. And so first half was going to be filled with games and fun. It's going to be larger than life. We've got a great DJ. We've got worship. It's all going to be incredible. But they're going to be leaving that first half with this one message. I have a problem that I cannot fix, but rescue is coming. And then right in the middle of the program, we're going to have a lot of fun because we've got Jared Hall, the illusionist. He's going to be coming in and for 30 minutes, changing everything up and blowing our minds. And then we're going to get to the back half. We're going to play some more games, have some more fun, and we're going to be talking about rescue. Because rescue is coming, and his name is Jesus. And we're going to allow students to understand what it is to say yes to Jesus and to be rescued from their sin. And part of that experience is to actually make a physical decision in the room. We were doing some research with NASA, we're all NASA nerds here, and we realized they invented some technology, SOS kind of thing, to help people get rescued. So we've got these. This little beacon right here are going to be on the stage, and students, if they want to make a decision to follow Jesus and say yes to the rescue, they can come grab one of these. This is where you come in. When you see one of your students go to the stage and grab one of these and activate this beacon, symbolizing their need for Jesus, we want you to leave your seat, find your student, and immediately start having a conversation about what it means to be rescued by Jesus and what he did on the cross. That is so huge for this event. That's why we're doing this conference, is so that lost students can find Jesus, and you are absolutely part of that conversation. There's one more thing. Everybody's going to have a lanyard. And the event it's not really over when it's over. In fact, the event continues by what's on the back, because we've got a QR code. And on this QR code, you can scan it with your phone and so can your students. And we want everybody to take part in our 5-day reading plan called the Experience Launch Plan. And it's designed to help every student, every leader continue talking about the rescue of Jesus 5 days after the event. And so we hope that you take that challenge and invite your students to do it with you. Can't wait to see you on the 19th and 20th. It's going to be amazing. And don't forget to continue to ask your students, who is your one? Who is the person that needs to know Jesus that you should bring to this event? We'll see you on the 19th and 20th. Can't wait. So we're super excited about what's going to happen in the program. It's a 2-hour block of time, but it's going to flow like 2 different sessions with a little break in the middle. I want to get more detail and drive in on the homing beacon and talk about when students make a decision to follow Jesus. We're going to be located on the 3rd floor. So you're going to be seeing students get up from their seats and walk down to stairs to grab one of those beacons. And so Brock and I wanted to make sure it's really clear, what do I do next? And so there are a couple steps that we want you to do next as part of that process so you don't miss out on what's happening for that. Thank you for the clarification, Laura. 3rd floor, 2nd level in the sanctuary. And so that's not where Jesus ascended when we were doing the Easter pageant back in the day. He went to the top floor. We're not talking about that floor. We're talking about the 3rd floor, 2nd level in the atrium. Brock, what do they do when they sit with a student? They've got the beacon light. They know they'll make a decision. What's the next steps from that moment?
Yeah. So one thing I would encourage you guys with before you even have the conversation is when you're in the auditorium and the call happens where students are going to go down the stage and grab one of those beacons. Because we're on the 3rd floor, you're going to really have to watch your students carefully because it's going to be dark and flashing lights and all that stuff. So if you're by a student and they're going to go make a decision, be watching for your students. If they're going to make a decision, you're just going to literally go with them down to the stage as they grab that beacon. And then the place that's set aside for you guys to have the gospel conversation. I'm trying to figure out what people are saying about Kenny in the chat right now.
Well, they're saying Leanne Sproul asked if Kenny could be the one to ascend from the Jesus level.
Yeah,
I think that would be a great idea. And
Yes.
he's volunteered for that. So we're going to get working on that right away.
That's great. I love it. So we might also get to experience that this weekend. That's gonna be awesome. But the space that is set aside for you guys to have those gospel conversations with your students is the next step room, which is on the 1st floor. If you're looking at the stage, the left side, I think you guys know where that is, but we'd love for you to go with your students in there. If that is not a great space, if there's like 300 students that are making decisions on Friday, which would be awesome, feel free to kind of filter into the hallway to have those conversations. I'm going to go ahead and put a link in the chat right now to kind of give you a guide for how to handle that conversation. This is our Linktree link. If you click that, you're going to find a link to a baptism conversation, which can help you. And really we should probably rename that. It's not just for baptism. That's a big piece of it, but really just any decision. This can kind of help you navigate when a student is making a decision to follow Jesus and has some different steps for you in the bridge illustration and all that stuff. So we wanted to make sure you had this link handy because it would be very wise for you to check that out before you show up on Friday and just be ready and expectant that you're going to have a gospel conversation. The other thing that you're going to find on that link on our Leader Tree, the Linktree, is after you have that decision conversation or baptism conversation, there's an actual form to fill that out so that we make sure that we are documenting when these decisions are happening. Things like contacting mom and dad, and does the student actually understand what they're doing? And maybe even if they want to get baptized, when and how they want that baptism to happen. Johnny, anything else you want to add on that?
Yeah, so one of the big things about this moment is we don't want them to forget it. And so when that conversation is over, a couple functional things for you. First of all, the little beacon, every time you press the button on it, it makes a new pattern on the light. So if you're trying to figure out how do I turn this off, we want it on all the way. We want the room to see the light. So that's important. If you've ever been to a Bible Beach or to Mix, we want these decisions to be seen. So we're hoping that in the room, people see these lights as they go in. But when you get to the conversation, it may be a little distracting for you. And you're like, how do I turn this thing off? All right. They'll just throw it away. If you click, it's kind of annoying. If you keep clicking on it, I think it's 5 times, it will eventually go off. Now, the thing that we want you to know is we want you to have a Sharpie. You should have a Sharpie with you as part of your check-in. You get the lanyard and everything like that to work on it. We want you to write something on there with them, and write the date on there and any other significant thing for this moment, because they're going to actually take this beacon home with them. It's kind of this moment maker for them to say, hey, this is the night that I decided I need rescue from Jesus. And so after you're done with that conversation and the night is over, like, we'd love for you to do that so that it's part of their, story, and you can kind of go home with it from that. That's really important. There's another thing on that form too, Brock, that's really cool. It's the one at a time story link. And so it may be some of the stories that you encounter from Experience Weekend. Most of them may be salvation related, but maybe there's some other stories about kids who brought their one. And maybe there's a great story about some of the kids that you've been working with. I know I've got a student in my group that's 8th grade that's praying, has been praying for this most unlikely person ever to come with them to Experience Weekend. Maybe you've got a story like that. We'd love for you to share that story via the one at a time story link on the Linktree, so that we can share those stories and tell those stories, not just to each other, but with the rest of our church. And so that's so important that we do that. And it may not just be the story you did a decision guide. It may be, man, I had some kids in my group and they actually had friends come with them, and it's so unlikely it's God showing up in a mighty way. So that's a big deal. Last thing we want to talk about in this whole thing is the content. So real gospel, I said in the video, Romans 3:23, all have sinned and fallen short of the glory of God. Man, we're really just going to talk about that on Friday and Saturday in that first session. And then in the second session, we're really talking about John 14:6, I'm the way, the truth, and the life. No one comes to the Father except through me. And in Romans 5:6, when we were utterly helpless, the NLT version says, God sent his son to die for us. And so real basic understanding of this gospel for everybody in the room to really get it. And so just want you to be prepared for that as we kind of walk into it and hang out together. Now, departure is a little unique at an event like this, because if you're with us on Wednesday nights, with all the other campuses not here, right, we kind of dismiss and we go, Brock. But it's a little different for high school and middle school at this event, because we're going to have every campus all together, and they want to be safe in doing so. So what does departure look like?
Yeah, so at the end of the program, our campus, Blake and Baker campus, at both Friday and Saturday are going to be dismissed back to FH2. So just like at the front half of the night, that's going to be the holding tank for our campus before we go in. That's also going to be the holding tank for us when we go out. And so when we're in FH2 at the end of the night, that'll give us a chance to maybe ask a few quick questions on the mic, go back for students having some fun. But there is going to be a team of people that are waiting by the pickup line, and they're going to be radioing into FH2, letting us know that Johnny Mac's mom is here to pick him up. This is the 3rd time we've asked, and he's still not coming. And then we can find Johnny Mac in FH2, and send him on out. So we will be sending students as we hear that their rides are arriving, just to make sure that everyone is safe. It's probably going to be a little chaotic, but it's going to be fun. It's going to be awesome. So we just want to go above and beyond to make sure every student is safe. That's what's going to be happening in FH2. And after that, that's the end of the event for Friday and Saturday.
That's right. So right now, here's what I'll do. We promised you we'd be done in 30 minutes. We meet it. It's 8:21. Drop your questions in the chat, and we're going to attack some of these. Tony asks, for any students that are new and may not know anyone, will there be a time for us to identify them and connect before the conference begins? Absolutely. We'll have a connection team there to help welcome them. And then that time in FH2, that's why we're going to wait a little bit longer to make sure that because we've got the space to do it too. So Tony, we'll have time for you to connect and get them connected. So it's like, hey, you're not just walking into the room, not knowing who you're sitting by and those kind of things. And there's some intentional things we're going to do in that room before we go in. Like Brock said, we'll have some microphone time on the front end and the back end. So Jeff King asks, Brock, are we going to be set up and ready for baptism at the time the decisions are made? Is this going to be like the weekend, right? Are we going to go all like baptism Sunday on this thing? What's that look like, Brock?
We are, honestly, to be honest, I don't know that I know the answer to this. I'm 99% sure that we are not doing baptisms this night. And that would just be to give time for students to have conversations with their parents, for leaders. to begin that relationship, because as much as we love, Kyle just preached in that story about Philip getting right in the water. With students, we really want to make sure they understand the decision that they're making. So we're not going to be doing baptisms on this night. Is that correct, Johnny?
That is correct. That's not to say that, after we're gone, like you set something up and you want to come back, like that's totally, it's not like it's shut down for the day. Like no one go to the water the rest of the weekend. But so we want, because we believe in the parent partnership too, we want to make sure that they own that. And so that's a big thing. Elizabeth, you asked a great question that I had talked about with our staff. This is not going to be a decision for rededication. We are going to make this as essentially clear as we can, especially on Saturday with middle school. I'll probably repeat it. We'll probably repeat it more times than it'll make you comfortable. The room, like, why are they broken record this thing? This is not a rededication. And I want to make that super clear. We're used to doing both of those in one. And that makes us a little uncomfortable. Like, man, we want a decision for everyone. We're trying to get really good at Southeast at laser focusing our student ministry events at the purpose. And so not to muddy the waters. There are other events where that's totally fine. And not to say that that's not allowed, but we are really going to communicate from stage. This is for first time decisions and first time, moments where students have never said, I need Jesus in my life to rescue me from my sin. Never talked about baptism. I never wanted to go through with that. It's really about that. So I'm glad you asked that question. It's not about rededications. Hey, I've been a Christian for a while. This event is really targeted at people who don't know Jesus and they're not connected. And so that makes some of us uncomfortable. It's like, wait, why are we? Because we're aiming at them. So Elizabeth, great question on there.
Hey, Johnny, Linda asked if you could say those 3 scriptures again.
Yeah, Romans 3:23, John 14:6, and then Romans chapter 5. Basically, if you read chapter 5, you'll be ready. But the NLT version, I believe it's verse 6, is what I said. So there'll be some more in there, but those are 3 core scriptures that things are built on.
Cool. Jeff King asked how many are signed up for HSM from Blankenbaker. We have around 200-ish, Jeff. Last week I looked, it was like 160-ish, and I think we've had more sign up since then, so around 200.
Yeah, for MSM, Hannah says we've got about 240 students from Blankenbaker, which is awesome. And excited to see how many of those kids are first-time folks that have been brought. We've been talking about who's your one all semester, so that's good. So Blankenbaker's repping. Yeah,
I don't know that we set our total number. We're sitting right around like 1,000. Is that right, Johnny, for like every campus?
Yeah, for the whole weekend. Yeah, we are.
Should be awesome. And good point, Kenny. Students can still sign up this week, right up until the event. So keep bugging your small group, reaching out to parents, get them there. Want every student to experience this.
Yeah, they can come, and I think Kenny put it on there. What's so different about this, as opposed to like when we do Believe, day of event, like hour before, your buddy can can come with you to the event and get in, and there's no issue on that. So they can walk right up and not register. And so we'll get them taken care of. It's going to be great. They'll have a registration there where we can make it really easy. So we know they're there, they're part of the event, and they get the t-shirt. So it'll be great. That's good. T-shirts. I almost forgot about that, Brock. Every leader gets to look like this on the event day. So you get to choose what your look's going to be. If you want to look like Brock, Aliens Are Real. When Brock and I are off time, we like to get together, have coffee, talk about Area 51 and Jesus. So thanks for a little insight into our friendship, Brock. It's good. Yeah. Everybody's going to have a t-shirt. Our plan was to get you that t-shirt ahead in advance. And so we're still working on that, weather pending, but plan on, no matter what, if you don't get it early in advance on that day, you're coming in, plan on changing into that shirt. Why is that important? Because it allows everybody in the room to know you are with the event, you're a leader. If a student has a question and they're in the hallway or wherever, they just know I can trust that guy or that gal in our leader shirt. So that's going to be good. Dave Sproul says, I'm only here for the shirt, brother. Let's go.
We'll take it however we can get you,
What
Dave.
color is it? Are you color coordinating, Leanne and Dave? What is going on in your marriage right now? It's It's a dark colored shirt. I think if you wear blue jeans, the black shirt will look good. So I'm not trying to coordinate your outfit, but I do expect Dave and Leanne to wear the same colored Vans on the way to church on Saturday and Friday.
Hey, John, we've got a few minutes left. You said one thing that we haven't talked about that I'm sure people are thinking about is, do we have any information on a weather plan right now?
We do have information on a weather plan. We're going to make a decision about that. If something were to shift in the forces of the universe, a decision would come down on Thursday. I'm not allowed to talk about that contingency plan because it's not been approved by the higher realms of our place. But we have a contingency plan for weather, and we're hoping to get it finalized tomorrow by leadership. And then if we need to pull it out, it'll be Thursday. And I wish I could say more, Brock. I would get in trouble by doing that. Not as much trouble as you're in right now. So it's good. All right. Any other questions? 828. Brock, I don't even know what to do right now. This is. I told you, next meeting, I'm bringing my snap camera. It's on. So it's very, very good. Very, very good. All right, let's finish up the meeting real quick. Can everybody drop one thing in the chat with me? Okay, I want to hear one thing in the chat. Everybody's got it. It's all play. One kid that you hope to see at Experience Weekend. You've been praying for them. I want you to go ahead and put their name in the chat right now. Let's make this interactive. One kid that you hope to see at Experience Weekend. Want to see you start dropping their names. Summer, Jonathan, Brooke Greenwell, Jackson, Israel, Gabby, Amaria, Carson, Stella, Asher, Lainey, Holland, Maggie, Matthew. That's good. Keep them coming. Very cool. All right, Andrew Dunn has asked to be admitted to the waiting room, and I would like to welcome everybody. Welcome Andrew on the chat right now, and tell Andrew thanks for coming tonight. We're so excited that he's here. We're so glad he made it. So it's good. I'm going to pray, and then we're going to jump off. Leanne Fenwick, can I put you on the spot? Would you mind praying us out tonight and praying for the lost to be found at Experience Weekend?